I always gift somebody something.
Is it your dog?
No way. I'm going to make you
Courtney.
choose.
No, well, okay. What are they?
So Shane's new book, or the best Australian science writings of 2022.
I can't do Shane dirty and be like, I can't choose this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
I think I'm reading this next. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know.
That sounds interesting. Like, I actually love science stuff. Love science stuff.
Love it.
But this is probably going to be really amazing. It's essential reading for curious but confused boomers. Oh wait, I'm not a boomer.
Hi Ollie.
Hello.
Welcome to Happy Mac.
Thank you.
So glad you could join us. Busy schedule. I know we talked a little bit in the kitchen about what you've been up to. I think it's nice to I was talking about making time in a busy schedule for, smelling the flowers. Yeah. And we touched on pets and philosophy. I love that stuff, you know.
Okay, good.
Do you make time when you're working to take breaks here and there?
Yeah, I try to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been to so many places around the world, but some of them I'm like, I just saw the inside of the hotel, or the inside of a car, and
you weren't really there.
Yeah, and also like the fact that we have phones and stuff means that you can really be like just sucked into like your screen 100% of the time. So even if you just look out the window, that's what I try and do, like wherever I go.
So international travel, oh my God. Haven't done anything in 3 years, or 2.5.
Yeah.
Some friends have, and talk about it being quite hellish.
Yeah.
Tell me about your international travel experiences.
Well, I will tell you that touring has become like challenging in a way that it kind of wasn't previously. Like after COVID, there's just obviously like a lot of restrictions were in place, but there's been a really big knock-on effect that the world has felt, obviously, with just like prices rising, everything's more expensive.
It becomes prohibitive in all sorts of ways.
For lots of flights get cancelled, stuff gets delayed, you miss your gear, the gear can't make it to the show, you have to rearrange stuff. So yeah, that's happened to, obviously just, speaking as like as a touring musician, that's happened across the board. So it's like been quite challenging, but then getting to the actual place when we managed to do it, I've just been so appreciative. I've been able to be there and play a show and travel. It's been, have this newfound appreciation for it. Someone I listen to, she's called Tara Brach.
Okay.
B-R-A-C-H. I listen to her podcast, and she does a lot of stuff about appreciating the moment. And
that's exactly right. So a big disaster, and the people who are in mindfulness draw our attention to the fact that gratitude is one of the most powerful things there is in the world, right?
This is something else I also listened on her podcast about. It's like how we're all kind of in a process of grieving. I mean, lots of us individually have things we grieve for, whether we've lost someone, but just kind of like as a world, the way of life that we had is gone, and actually grieving that is really important. And lots of people, grief is really difficult to process, and everyone processes it differently. Yep. So I feel that. We naturally started talking a little bit about mindfulness and philosophy, which I love, because I think that we all do, and just don't talk about it enough. Right, yeah. Do you think that? I mean, everyone's secretly listening to mindfulness, and they've got their own little connection with their inner selves. I think we should all be talking about it more. For sure.
Every time I speak to somebody, I try to tease that out of them in small ways, because it means that people watching you and who are aware of you can go, oh, far out. It's cool to self-explore.
It's very cool to self-explore. I would say, I've had a therapist, because I had a lot of issues when I was in my teenage years and my early 20s, like self-harming, eating disorders. I needed a lot of support, and I found a really good therapist, and have had the same therapist for like nearly 10 years. Okay. So that's kind of like quite a unique experience with in terms of so I'm like quite, I feel like I'm very connected to like mental health, and like how, just for my personal reasons, like had to, do a lot of work to try and kind of make that strong enough. But that's just to say that I think, we talk a lot about how I think in the modern life and modern society, there's like a real crisis for people who are like desperately in need of more mindfulness and kind of and more strength within their mental health, and not necessarily knowing how, having the tools to kind of make that happen, because it's looks different for everybody, and also it's really difficult. So I think you're completely right. Like everybody should be talking about it more, and kind of, I think discussing it is a really good thing. And so I'm always kind of like on people to try and do a bit more of that.
So someone is watching this, they're a fan of yours, they love your work, they love your music, they are in a small crisis or a major crisis, they've never thought too much about this. What's a small step that we can take?
Well, I always think there's like a few things you can do. Like obviously it depends on like what your situation is, but like one thing I find really helpful is writing stuff down. Like I've kept a diary since I was a kid.
Same.
And I find that super helpful, like just having my own kind of private space where I just communicate with myself in a way, or just trying to, even just getting thoughts out, you know, that can help. And then if this has taken me a really long time and it's like literally, you know, it's really obvious, but if you have someone you trust, like talking to someone is always good, I think. It always eases the burden when you can share it with someone, if you have someone you can trust. And
that's
then,
important.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
You can accidentally have something reinforced that may not necessarily need to be reinforced. But
that's the thing,
that catharsism of sharing is really powerful.
I think so. I mean, you can never, obviously you never know what the other person's going to say back to you, right? So, but I think it can be really good.
Sometimes we don't care, we just need to
Exactly,
share.
you need to get it out.
Yeah. Well, you're traveling, you were home for a while. We were all home for a while. Where do you call home? What's home?
London.
Yep.
Yes. I live in London. I've lived in London for almost 14 years, so I've been there a while. I've just been all over the place, going everywhere, you know, like loads of people, you know, and then suddenly it all stopped and I was just in one place.
Wow. And what was the biggest takeaway from that? Like I mean, obviously you were a touring musician, you do a lot, you act, and I was going to ask you at one point, maybe I will, is there anything you can't do? You know?
My accounts.
Yeah, but my God, you know, 2 years of being stuck is such an interesting thing. What was the biggest outcome? I don't know what the right word is, like takeaway or?
I don't know, I feel like I really like spent a lot of time thinking about so many things, and I realised I was in love with my ex-boyfriend. We got back together.
Okay.
So that was a good thing.
Lovely.
I realised that like I felt like a real lack of confidence and just sort of like not wanting to even put myself out there anymore, and then kind of like coming back around to being desperate to like do something. And so I don't know, it was like a roller coaster. I feel like I just was like all over the place for a while. But yeah, I think I mentioned it earlier, but definitely have this appreciation, a kind of renewed appreciation of just like being able to do what I do, and you know, so that's a good feeling.
It is.
For sure.
Yeah. Been 10 years of years and years?
10 years! Yeah.
Should we talk a bit about music?
Yeah, why not?
You're here playing music.
Why not? Yeah.
You just played summer camp?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that.
It was so fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was just really fun to, well, obviously come back to Australia and play.
When was the last time you were here?
I think 2016.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So to come back was just, it's been really fun, and to be part of such a queer lineup.
Very cool, very cool.
It's been great, yeah.
Did you catch many of the other acts?
I saw a bit of Big Frida. Okay. And caught a tiny bit of Sophie Ellis-Bextor, and obviously I love both those artists. I've met Sophie before and seen her before, and Big Frida was amazing. So I'm hoping I will be able to catch a bit more of them on the next show in Melbourne.
I know that there was an album in January, so it's a post-COVID record. It's one banger after another.
Thank you.
My God.
Yes, thank you.
I love talking to people about their teams because it's so important. You've come into Happy with a wonderful team.
I got my team.
You've got a team.
It takes a village.
Yeah, it takes a village. The Mark Ralph connection is a really important one to me.
Yes.
Tell me quickly, or tell us a bit about that. Yeah.
So Mark Ralph is my producer. He's produced nearly every Years and Years song, in fact.
Amazing.
Since the very beginning. He's had some involvement in some way on almost everything. And I just love working with him. He's like such a safe, he knows dance music. I don't know anyone more knowledgeable about dance music, so he's just got that in his soul and his bones, you know, and he really understands what I kind of wanted to do with Years and Years, which is kind of make this spin on dance music that was, you know. So I love working with him, and then once you find that kind of connection, it's hard to, I just found it it's so valuable, you know, like I'm so grateful to him. Like he brings out the best in me, and also like other collaborators too when we work together. So yeah,
I do an Insta stalk every time I'm going to chat to somebody. It's very powerful. Wikipedia sucks for that stuff.
Yeah.
You have 2 Insta handles.
Oh yeah.
And your more personal one is the juicier one, the one I really enjoyed. The Crystal Castles stuff, which I'd seen.
Crystal Waters.
Crystal Waters, sorry, my gosh.
Yes.
Crystal Waters, yeah.
Yeah.
There's Georgia and you in a bedroom.
Yeah.
I love this sort of stuff.
Oh, cool.
It's empowering for fans. It's important for people to see that things can be done in their rooms.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about that.
So this recent cover I just put out, Crystal Waters 100% Pure Love, I made it with Georgia and Mark Ralph.
Okay.
But me and Georgia made it in the studio together. She's got a studio at the bottom of her garden, and it's just like, we had the best time doing it, you know. It's just me and her, like, no, there's not even I mean, she has some fancy chains going on, like processing.
Gear.
Yeah, there's fancy gear, but literally it's not like there's a vocal booth over there and a live room and all this big studio. It's just literally like a little room at her house. And we're together, like having fun, like making this record.
That's what it looks like, and that's what it
yeah,
sounds like.
and Georgia, like again, she's phenomenally talented and just understands dance music in a way that just like blows my mind. So I was so excited to. We've been making some music for the next record as well. So
very cool.
Yeah, I love her.
Well, we're going to wind it up.
Wind it up.
Yeah, but it was lovely to sit down and chat. I always gift somebody something when they've.
You've already given me a gift.
Well, I've given you a gift. I'm going to give you a second gift.
Is it your dog?
No way. But this is a choice. This is a choice gift. I know you started a book club, or I can tell you're a reader.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you choose.
No, well, okay. What are they?
One is funny.
Yeah.
And one, I just read this. It's absolutely fabulous.
This is the funny one?
No. I mean, it's funny in parts. But do you know Courtney?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Shane's new book, or the best Australian science writings of 2022.
But okay, I have to take this because I can't do Shane Day and be like I can't choose this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not.
I think I'm reading this next. I haven't read this yet, so I don't know.
But that sounds interesting. Like I actually love science stuff. Love science stuff.
Love it.
But this is probably going to be really amazing. Yeah. But is it?
I'm sure you travel
live.
Hopefully there's hopefully there's enough room in your bag for that.
Oh, thank you so much. It's essential reading for curious but confused boomers. Oh wait, I'm not a boomer.
Nor am I. But it's still a wonderful read.
But still a good read.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I will enjoy reading this.
Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your time in Australia.
Thank you so much. Yes.
See ya.
See ya.
They're not sponsoring this or anything. I just
Really?
love it.
Oh wow, so cute. The world's most Instagrammed cake.
Yeah, oh right, yeah. It's super famous. It's the world's most photographed cake. It's very Arabic. It's got a lot of that.
It's like rose
Yeah,
taste?
that's right. Rose water.
It's delicious.
And yeah.
Like fresh lights.
Mm-hmm.
There.
All right.